Good morning. We are joined by head football coach Gary Watkins. Coach Watkins, thank you for joining us once again.
No doubt. Glad to be here.
Um, let's see. Where do we start about last week's game against Long Beach City College? 28-14 was the final score. Um, Let me ask you. Tell me your thoughts on how the game started, how we made some adjustments at halftime and towards the end.
Yeah, obviously the outcome of the game wasn't what we wanted it to be this past Saturday. That happens. It's very difficult to go undefeated in any sport, let alone football.
Yeah.
We were playing a very good team in Long Beach City. Talented, big, physical, like we said they would be. And they came out and competed, and we competed, and they made more plays than we made. Offensively, we did not have the night that we were looking to have, and our defense played extremely well early in the game, and shut them out in the first half. And unfortunately, the offense, we had a pick six, which got them on the board early. But our defense held the rope for literally as long as they could, and it takes its toll. We try to play complementary football at Mesa,
Sure.
and as the offensive coordinator, I'll come right out and say it. Offensively, we didn't perform to the level of our expectations, and it makes it, pretty stressful on your defense to have to hold the rope that long without us doing our part. And so, it happens. I mean, there are going to be off nights, and there are going to be nights where the execution isn't as high, and some very untimely penalties, and a major turnover, and before you know it, you're pushing the ball uphill again. And so, but our team stayed resilient. The offense didn't fold. We kept battling, and we're able to get two of those scores late in the third or fourth quarter. I'm not sure when it was, but no quitting the Mesa Olympians. We're going to keep fighting, keep pressing for 60 minutes each and every weekend.
And that was the amazing thing from it. And you're right, it was 14 points unanswered on our end in mid fourth quarter, in which we made it close. Now let's talk about the offense again. And again, you're an offensive minded coach. We scored a season low actually of total offense of 229, and obviously a lot of credit goes to Long Beach City because their defense played well, but also like you touched on it a little bit, we had some plays where we were gaining good yardage. However, the yellow flags were being thrown because of penalties on our end. We talk about that quite a bit, right? Besides when the team starts aggressive early, we do well. And also the other thing that hurts us on the other side are the penalties. I know you guys constantly preach this, but what's the message moving forward, especially with this upcoming game this Saturday?
Yeah, I thought we did a decent job Saturday evening with the penalties that we can control. Right, we talk about controllable penalties, and that's your personal fouls, your false starts, things that we can control, more mental mistakes. The penalties that affected us Saturday evening from an offensive standpoint were, in-game penalties. They're holding calls, things that are happening out of aggression, and sometimes, the everybody, all the left guard got a holding call. Will a lot to the average eye, it's always the O-line guy's fault, but sometimes it's sometimes it's the guy behind the O-line guy's fault. Like sometimes it's the quarterback not getting the right hole. Sometimes it's the quarterback holding the ball too long. Sometimes it's the running back hitting the wrong hole in the run play. And sometimes you put offensive linemen in a disadvantageous position because they can't see the ball carrier. All they can see is the blocker, And so, I'm sorry, yeah, it's the guy that they're blocking. And so they know where the ball carrier is supposed to be. And when he's not there, and then the defensive lineman or the linebacker makes an adjustment to where he sees the running back going to, sometimes it puts the offensive line guy in a bad situation. And so every holding call isn't just strictly on the offensive line or on or on the receiver on the perimeter. And so we did have, like you said, we did have some explosive runs and a couple passes that got called back, due to holding. And, that's part of the game. The officials have a job to do, and they did their job well on Saturday evening. And, it just was very untimely for us on offense. And anytime you are moving forward within the play and then moving backwards after the play, it's very hard to get into a rhythm and find some consistency.
Sure.
It's very difficult to play, first and 20 multiple times a game.
Of course.
It's very easy for the defense to kind of nail down your tendencies in those very long situations. And so we have to do a better job of keeping ourselves out of those situations and executing with more consistency and efficiency throughout the course of the games.
Of course. Let's talk a little bit about the quarterback. We had a quarterback's change. Gunnar Gray went down with an injury and replaced by Richard Colmenero. What did you think about Richard's performance? Freshman out of St. Augustine High School. There were a lot of shining moments that he had, but also, as you mentioned, there were a couple of, whether it was penalties or whether it was a pick here or there. Moving forward, what should we expect from Richard now that Gunnar is out? And Richard's in.
Yeah, I was overall pleased with Richie's play Saturday evening. He played, he managed the game for us. He managed the offense, kept us flowing. It's very difficult in his role to hop in there against a top caliber team in the state and perform literally for the first time in meaningful minutes, probably in 2.5 years for Richie. Richie suffered an injury when he was coming out of high school. That cost him a year and then another year with us. That he was still recovering from that injury, and so I don't care what anybody says. Game reps is different than scrimmage reps. Is different than late in the game reps when the game was decided. It's different than practice reps. But getting that first collegiate start for him, I think is going to bode well for him going forward. I mean, he's a winner. He's a proven winner. He's cool, calm, and collected. Like he never flinched on the sideline when things weren't going his way. He was getting hit more than we anticipated, but he just kept getting up and kept going out there with a smile on his face and ready to help lead us, And so I'm super excited for his maturation, with the more reps that he will be getting this week. And so I'm excited to see how he performs this weekend. But there's no doubt in our mind that we believe Richie can lead our team to victory.
Absolutely. Hey, moving forward now, we've got Palomar College coming down to Mount Olympus, a very, very tough team, currently 3-1 in arguably one of the toughest division, National Northern. Their only loss this year comes from Riverside College. What do we know about them? They're in a 2-win streak right now, having beaten Southwestern College 17-0, and recently a thriller overtime against College of the Canyons. What do we know about Palomar, and how are we game planning against them without obviously giving a little too much before the game?
Yeah, Palomar's only loss is actually the Golden West.
What's it called?
Yeah, Golden West. They've beaten Victor Valley and College of the Canyons as well as Southwestern. This is going to be a really hard-fought game. Again, Coach Early does a great job up north getting his guys ready to play each and every year. And, when you're playing an in-county rival, the records don't matter. Who won or lost last week doesn't matter. It's going to be a very, very tough contest. It's going to be physical. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere. We look forward to playing Palomar each and every season because we know it's going to be a barn burner. I think the last 3 games that I've been there, I've been at Mesa against Palomar, I think they've all been decided, in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's not going to be much separation one way or the other, and it's going to come down to every game, right? Blocking and tackling, and the team that's going to make the fewest mistakes is going to probably be victorious, And so we look forward to competing with the Comets, and should be a good one Saturday night.
Hey, Coach, one last question for you. You touched on it a little bit at the beginning. Going back to the game against Long Beach, where heading into the third quarter without us having produced much on offense, the defense kept us in the game all the way to the end. Can you tell me some of the players that you think that right now is just performing outstandingly out there, who's keeping us in games like this in which we're trying to find our way to get some scores, and it wasn't until late in the fourth that we did that. So tell me a little bit about your defense and the improvements that we see happening on a game-to-game basis.
Yeah, our defense every single week is, we put a lot of pressure on our defense. We play a very aggressive brand of defense. We're putting our corners and our secondary in a lot of man situations, and we're bringing a lot of pressure at the quarterbacks. And, we've done a really good job up front of getting to the quarterback and disrupting his timing and his comfortability in the backfield. That starts with Ezra and Blaze on the front, with Robledo and Arthur Neal and Christian Moda pushing the middle. And then we have, some linebackers who are doing a heck of a job right now between Vega, Johnny Vega, Ryan Odom. It was nice to have John Carroll back last week. Connor Battaglia. Bunch of hard, gritty, blue collar guys right there at the linebacker position, or helping us defend the run and in pass coverage. And then our secondary has been one of the best so far, that we've had since I've been a part of this program.
Mm-hmm.
We asked them to play a lot of one-on-one man coverage. Bennett Walker
Yep.
and Chris Jackson and Daniel McCoy and Eric Gannett safety and Michael Harkins and Owen Ucini. I mean, it's just a plethora of guys who step in every week and step up when their number's called, to help us be successful on that back end, And so we dealt with, as you know, earlier in the year, we dealt with some injuries in all three phases of our defense. And just every single week, it seems like there's a new guy stepping up, and whether it's to fill the void or whether it's to provide, additional depth. Coach Bridges and the defensive staff has done an amazing job of preparing every week. And trying our best to make the opponent dribble left-handed. We want them to take away what we believe that they do the best, or we believe what they want to do the most, and make them find another way to be successful against us. And for the most part, we've done that. And so I'm very, very pleased with how our defense has prepared and performed thus far through the season. I'm hoping to continue to see them progress.
It is a fun bunch, and that's one of the things that we noticed up top watching from our little perch up there, is that there are a lot of options on the defensive side, whether how you guys disguise it, but eventually everything kind of settles down to that one-on-one side, because you have a bunch of athletes, is what we say about these guys. They are fast. They like to hit. You got linebackers that putting their nose where it doesn't belong. They want to get down there and mix it up with the big guys. So it's fun to watch. All right, Coach. Well, it's Friday today, and I know you're getting busy. So we will catch up with you this weekend, hopefully with a victory against Palomar. Game starts at 6 p.m. Any messages you want to leave your fans, Coach?
No, come out, have a good time, be loud, be excited, cheer on your boys, and let's go Olympians.